I see we have a few more folks that have jumped in. If you have questions, make sure you just go ahead and shout them out. No need to raise your hand or whatever. You can type them in the chat box or just unmute yourself. And then also I've asked everyone if there are specific things that you're looking for in this conversation today, make sure you let me know what they are so I can be sure to cover them, because I want to make sure that you're getting what you need out of it. So you can drop that in the chat box if you want. Okay, so check that out quickly. Perfect. All right, so here are some things that you may see from just a basic job description. As you look through roles and this is a way to kind of be familiar with what different companies are likely to have in their job descriptions, but also what are going to be common in industries. So you want to look for these kind of key terms there. And the more that you see those, then you know that these are important things for me to have in this particular industry that I'm looking for. And then that also helps you to align your own resume to make sure that it aligns to these words. So if you, for example, have on your resume, you don't have think creatively, but you have kind of a synonym of that, you want to maybe consider shifting yours to demonstrate exactly what they're saying, which is thinking creatively. So using job descriptions, and these are just examples of some of the key terms that you'll see. So you'll go through and just highlight those in a job description. How to match keywords in job with resume. Any tools where we can check alignment of resume with job description. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to make a note. Keywords with description. Okay. So how to organize your job search. This is one of the biggest ways to be successful in looking for a job is to be organized in it. A lot of times when we're looking for work, you just kind of see them, you see a job, you're like, oh, this is interesting, and you may bookmark it on that particular site. But if you can actually keep your own list and kind of keep your own organization strategy, it will really be helpful to you, especially in the midst of what we're doing right now. There's going to be so many people applying to the same roles, and you obviously will probably apply to a lot of different jobs right now. So when you get a call back for an interview, you hate to be in a situation where you don't remember applying to that particular company before, or what it is that you did. So doing things like being organized, keeping a folder of all of the emails associated when you've applied to a job, creating a list of the different things that you've done are going to be really helpful to you. Set some goals, set some specifics around, how much time you want to invest in your job search each day. Make a schedule. And the reason why you do this is because if you're doing it correctly, it won't always be really fast for you to apply to a job, because to the point actually of one of you mentioned about matching the keywords to the description. If you are truly tailoring your resume to a job that you're applying to, which is what you should be doing, you should not be blanketing the same resume to all of the jobs that you are searching for, unless they are extremely similar in nature. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually apply to each role. So if you're doing it correctly, it should take you a little bit of time. So you want to plan out your day. You want to plan out the time and make sure that you're dedicating, the 15 to 20 minutes it's going to be taking to apply to that particular role. All right, so here are just a bunch, here are some of the resources that are available to you. Obviously, check out our website. We have links to connecting to your life design educator. You can talk to them specifically about the roles and the things that you're interested in. You can get help with your resume. You can share with them a job description that you have found, and you can, talk with them about what are some of the key terms and how might you make sure that your resume is applicable to that. You also can use the virtual career lab, which is, dropping in for office hours, things of that nature. We have People Grove, which is a really great resource to check out. It is a mentoring platform, and it's a way to connect with alumni who are working in particular fields or industries that you're interested in. By doing this, it's a way to get kind of a deeper inroads into a company. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then using Handshake. Handshake has a ton of resources available to you based on what it is that you're needing. And so check out Handshake is also a way to set up job search for you. So you don't have to spend the time searching for jobs. It can send you searches on a regular basis. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so while I have everyone here, just can you tell me quickly, do you have a Handshake profile set up? Have you searched for jobs in Handshake yet? Anyone? Yes, no? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. Lots of yeses. For those who have done it, what challenges have you had, or have you been able to find any things, any jobs? What has happened for you in using that as a platform? Anyone care to share? Just so I can help you kind of navigate, make it easier. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I think I've just personally found other websites helpful. Like I'm the one who say I'm looking for jobs in publishing.
Sure.
So like with that specific field, there's not, at least in my experience, there hasn't been a lot of like jobs in that field on
Gotcha.
Handshake. Yeah.
Okay. And so I think too, the other thing about that is making sure that, and I don't know what search terms you use, but that's also something to keep in mind, is that you want to make sure that you understand the range of search terms, because sometimes the title of a job may not be exactly what you think it would be, at a particular company. They may call it something different. So here's a way to kind of help you out, especially if you have already experience that's kind of relevant to publishing or relevant to whatever field that you're in. The more you actually build out your profile, it will send you things to help with your search as well. So it will send you things that are relevant to your interests and what you're looking for. That's another way that you don't have to search actively, but it will kind of demonstrate or send you things that are relevant to what it is that you want to do. So here's just a way you can easily just upload your resume and it will build out your profile really quickly for you. You can build out your interests in your profile. The other reason why all of this is helpful is because oftentimes employers actually search Handshake for students specifically. So if you make your profile visible and you have it built out and they are looking for folks for specific roles and you have things listed, then they can find you and reach out to you directly. The other thing you can do is to indicate your career interests, so that you're looking for a job. You can indicate the locations that you're looking for as well. And then you can, this is indicating your career interests. And then you can set up your notifications for how frequently you want to get that information. So if you want to get an email every single time a new publishing job is offered or a new whatever type of job is available, then you can go ahead and put that in. The other thing you can do is then create your search functions in Handshake. And so I would do a couple of them for each type of job, because like I said, the title at one job is going to be very different than another. So you could put publishing one, you could put publishing as one, but you could also put, copy or copywriting or whatever other key terms in those areas are. I would set up several different ones for roles in those fields. And then you can add the locations and then you can save them and then it will send it to you. So you don't have to re-put these filters in every time that you are looking for those opportunities. I want to kind of skip ahead though, because I think that's something that will be particularly helpful, especially in those kind of harder to find fields, are going to be looking for roles on through LinkedIn. And the reason that, I'm sorry, I'm just skipping through here. Okay, go back. Oh, go back. So this is kind of what I wanted to get to, especially in the fields that are difficult to get into. If those roles are hard to come by, if you're just applying online, then that is going to be, you're limiting yourself. And you'll have to kind of do what this slide is talking about, which is these side and backdoor approaches. So the first approach that everyone is doing is going to be applying to jobs on Handshake or Indeed, or they're Googling jobs, or they're applying, on Monster, I don't know, whatever other sites people use these days, right? And that's just one approach, but that is not the most effective approach, especially in hard to get into industries. The most effective approach for difficult industries or in a very challenging job market time, like what we're kind of starting to face right now, are going to be approach 2 and approach 3, which is through the side and the back door. So that is going to be using networking and resources that you have through contacts. It's going to be building contacts. It's going to be conducting informational interviews with people around opportunities in their companies. It's going to be a lot more work than just applying for jobs online, especially, like I said, in those hard to get into industries. And then also that third approach, which is being proactive. Even if you don't send a job, even if you don't see a job available at a particular organization, but you see, someone on LinkedIn that works at that organization, reaching out to them to inquire about roles and things like that. Does everyone on here have a LinkedIn profile that they are using as well right now? Drop a yes or no in the chat. Yes. Okay, great. And are you using it to support your job search efforts? Because what that means is finding, for example, alumni who work at the organizations that you're interested in, and seeing if they will connect with you, reaching out to them to have conversations. That is really going to be the biggest key, especially in these very challenging entry-level fields. Okay. This is also talking about some of these non-traditional sites that you may want to consider. You can also find other websites, like ones that are specific to an industry, ones that are specific to a location. You can also, if there are professional organizations within fields that you're interested in, those would be great places to find jobs that sometimes are not listed on, some of these metadata sites. So finding out what are these organizations within industries and fields that you're interested in would be great ways to connect to other jobs, or ones that are maybe not as going as well noticed on some of these other platforms. These are just a list of some examples here. Okay, here's just a list of some of the different examples of things, different fields like humanities, DC, e-financial, careers, just depending on what it is that you're looking to go into. So these are going to be these are just examples of things that might be really helpful that are specific to a field or geographic region. But you can just, does someone have a question? Nope. Okay. But you can just begin by researching, what are professional organizations in the field of publishing, or what are professional organizations in engineering, economics, or whatever. Finding out what those specific fields are, or what those particular professional groups are. You can join those professional groups on LinkedIn. That's another way, and it will demonstrate for you there. how you can, if you join those groups on LinkedIn, then you have the ability to find individuals who work in that field, who work in those at those companies, and you can create connections that way. Or you can also just navigate to those platforms, to their websites, and find opportunities as well. Here are just a bunch of other professional organizations listed there. These are arranged for different companies or for different organizations that you might be interested in. I don't know if you see any that are relevant to fields that you're interested in, but here are just a smattering of them. Who on here is looking for an internship versus who's looking for full-time employment at this point? You can drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. Full-time, 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 full-time. Okay. So, and one internship. Okay. So just really quickly on internships as well as for full-time, actually, especially in kind of this, in this mix of as you are looking to transition, or if your full-time job search seems to extend for longer than you're comfortable, you can always be doing even smaller projects or virtual projects, or what they call as like micro internships for now as well. So websites like Parker Dewey are a really great resource for shorter term opportunities that can be for an intern or in between full-time job searches, where you can, they are listed by specific companies and you are able to get paid for them. They range in time of how long it takes to complete them. It could be 40 hours of work, or it could be 20 hours of work. They have everything from tech things to marketing things, customer service. Like it's not just it's not just engineering or just, one type of field. So definitely check it out as you are looking for internships as well as your full-time opportunities. ParkerDewey.com, a really great resource. Check internships, LinkedIn, and then Handshake as well. All of these will be for virtual. Here's some great resources that have some updates on companies that are in a hiring freeze. So if you are looking for a specific company, but you're not sure about if they are still hiring or not, these couple of resources here are showing everyone like if they get updates on who's hiring, who's not, whatever freezes that they're going to. And these are updated on a regular basis. So you can check these out as well. These are not happening right now because of COVID. So when we are not in COVID, conferences are a great way to connect and to meet individuals face to face and begin learning about opportunities. But obviously we are in a space where that is not happening. Okay, so I am done there. I'm actually going to, if you don't mind, I'll share my screen and navigate to LinkedIn and show you kind of how to use that as a resource to find opportunities, unless there are other specific questions. I know there was a question around keywords with description. I want to answer that too really quickly. So the way to make sure that the keywords that are in the job description are matching your resume are to literally, I even go through, if you can print it or just copy and paste it and put it into a Word doc, and then go through and highlight what seems to be the most important aspects. And you can kind of tell what's most important because it's in the qualifications and it's also in the job duties. So you'll kind of see them both reflected there. Like if in the job duties, it talks about working in a team, you'll be working in a team. Then in the qualifications or in the expectations of an applicant, it will talk about, needs to have team collaboration abilities or something like that. So that is a way to kind of make sure and literally just go through and highlight. And then once you've highlighted the terms that are relevant, apply those into your resume. Go back to your resume and make sure that you have the things that you have highlighted are reflected in your resume in some way, shape, or form. Does that answer your question about key terms, keywords, and descriptions? Yes, no, maybe so. Whoever asked about the keywords and terms, did I offer enough clarity for you? Okay, I'll keep moving unless you jump in and tell me otherwise. Let me just pull up LinkedIn for you. Okay. All right, so can you see my screen here? I'm sharing LinkedIn. So I just want to demonstrate for you all how to better connect with folks who are looking for opportunity, or as you're looking for opportunities in a particular field. For the person who's looking for work in publishing, is there a specific company that is top of mind for you that you're like, oh, I would love to work for this particular organization?
Well, I actually have an internship at Johns Hopkins University Press, right? Well, I did, but so I guess there, but
Okay.
there's also places in New York like Random House, Scholastic, those kind of big names.
Okay. And then someone else just put Jane Street. I don't know, is that publishing too, or is that something else? I don't know. Someone put that in the chat. I don't know. Okay, you said Random House? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, great. So have you found alumni there yet, or have you done this part at all?
I haven't.
Okay, so we just pulled up Penguin Random House, so on LinkedIn, and then go to people. And once you have that there, then you can begin to filter by people who have been, are alums of Johns Hopkins. So let's put that in. Okay, so right now it looks like of those 5,028 have something about Johns Hopkins on their page, or their, some aspect of Hopkins. So what you would then do is begin to filter through that. You can look through those and see so here, for example, this person editorial assistant at Penguin House. It looks like they were a writing sims major, graduated in 2017. I have no idea I don't know enough about publishing to tell you about roles or anything, obviously, but I would, gather that this is someone that at least at best you could begin to reach out to understand about opportunities in that organization. It looks like because they're a fairly recent grad, they can't have been there that long. So I don't know, is this the type of work that you might be interested in, or is it editorial assistant?
Yeah.
Not exactly what you're thinking of.
Yeah, editorial assistant are the jobs that I'm applying for.
Okay, great. So this is someone who's already doing that job. So you have a good tie here because you both are, we're at Hopkins. This person graduated in 2017. What's your major?
Writing sims.
Oh, there you go. So you probably had some of the same, faculty and everything. So reaching out to this person and saying, hey, I'm also a writing sims major and I'm interested in this field. Can I have, would you be open to chatting for 10 to 15 minutes? Would love to hear more about how you, connected to Penguin Random House, or how you, got where you are, that type of thing. You have a conversation. And then when you have that conversation, because you've now built a connection, that person is going to be more likely to, recommend you for something. Or if you've already applied, they might begin to offer to say, oh, I actually know someone I can suggest you, or I can say, oh, that my friend has, or, that my former classmate has applied. So especially in very challenging kind of roles like this, I know publishing, these are like where they get a ton of resumes. You have to use a network to get to those opportunities. So what do you think about like getting on there and reaching out to someone like this, or going back through and finding other folks that have that?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much. That was helpful.
Yeah. So like whoever else is on, like, if there are particular companies that you are interested in, I think that this is a great kind of first step, is putting that company. Someone else said Jane Street. I don't know what Jane Street is, but we'll try. Okay. Jane Street Financial Services. Again, people. Put Johns Hopkins. Not as many. There's a few. Oh, but this person is an HR generalist, so they actually work in HR, so that's kind of good. Let's see. Let's click that. They graduated in 2013 from Hopkins, and they work in HR. So that's great. HR would be a great connection for you if you're looking to work in this organization. I believe someone typed in Jane Street in the chat. The other thing you can do is, if you look for jobs on LinkedIn, like let's say, let's go back to. Let's go back to Random House. So it would then, because it's going to show my network, but if you had begun to connect with people, then it would show you based on the job application who you have connections with for those particular roles. So obviously I don't know very many people in that field, but it looks like I have one connection and 2 company alumni. So probably 2 folks that worked at Hopkins, and then 1 actual connection that's there. So that's the other thing that you can do, is just look for actual positions. Is that helpful? Are there any other specific questions that you guys have, or things that I can answer for you about searching for opportunities or making your search a little bit easier right now? If not, the other thing, I'm happy to stay on and answer questions. Is it okay to approach alumni? It is absolutely okay to approach alumni. I can tell you, as someone who works with alumni on a very regular basis, they actually get frustrated sometimes when students don't reach out to them. Because they're always like, oh, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help. I think that you will find that if you reach out to them, they are more than happy to talk to you. The other place, if you feel uncomfortable starting on LinkedIn, the other place that would be really good to connect with alumni would be on People Grove. Does anyone already have a People Grove profile? Yes. Okay, good. So People Grove would be another great place to reach out to alumni. Those are all alumni who literally have said, they're on that platform because it's a mentoring platform. They are on there to expect to answer your questions. So at minimum, If you're not comfortable yet trying LinkedIn as a resource, you could start with People Grove and start reaching out to alumni there. And as you get more comfortable, then you can reach out to alumni on platforms like LinkedIn. I think as long as you are, the outreach is not saying, "Hi, can I have a job?" But the email is more like, "Hi, I see that you are an alum of Hopkins. I'm a recent grad. Would love to talk to you about blah, 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 blah. Do you have 10 or 15 minutes to connect?" Very short, very brief, getting to the point about just trying to have a conversation with them. You don't have to write 10 to 15 paragraphs. Just keep it brief to what it is that you're looking to have a conversation about. But yes, they are absolutely happy to talk to you. I mean, think about it from your perspective. You're if anyone who's a recent graduate right now, so if you're looking for full-time work, if a first-year student reached out to you, would you be happy to talk to them and answer their questions about navigating Hopkins or, things to do with Hopkins? I think the answer is pretty much yes. And so that's very much the same position that they're in, that they feel like. What other questions can I answer for you? If there aren't other questions, I'll hang on until you guys all disconnect. Or if you have specific questions, if anyone wants to show me a job description or wants me to find a particular job description and they have questions about, that particular one or how to find, whatever, I'm happy to help. Just, I'm on as long as you all want to stay on. And you are also welcome. Thanks for joining. Yes, good question. Happy to help. You can type it or unmute yourself, either way.
This is Bhargav. So if you permit me to share my screen, I can just show you the job description, or you want me to share it?
Do you have a link in your, do you have a link to the website, or do you, because I think I don't have sharing capabilities on here.
Okay, so like I just sent the link for the job description.
Perfect. Okay, I'll open it up. Yes. Okay, I've got it. I can share my screen so you can see it. Okay, this is it, correct?
Yeah.
So you're wondering about key terms here, or what?
Yeah. Do you have specifically? So how do I take? Because I have tried at least twice now, and both the times I have been rejected by the algorithm which does the initial screening part. I just want to ensure that my resume just gets past that part.
Gotcha. So I'm looking at, like, these are obviously clear things to have. So something around analytical, organizational communication, data analysis, Python, MATLAB, R. I would have those in there as well. Do you for sure have 3 to 5 years experience?
Yes.
Okay. It's very vague. You'll do research. And then, so it looks like the description of things. So if you have any experiences where you have research and synthesized data, if you have experiences where even if you have done that, but you don't have it worded like that, I would use that as a reference. Anytime with statistical analysis, that's shown up a couple times. So I think that was down here too, right? Yeah, the data analysis, statistical analysis. The other part here, I will also point this out to you. So D.E. Shaw, I am like almost positive that we have alums there. And that is probably the other piece. I mean, I can't stress the whole networking piece enough. Like, especially if you've applied a couple of times and the algorithm is not getting you through, then you can't keep, if you try the same thing, it may not yield a different result for you. So you'll need to kind of get in a situation where someone can send an email to someone on your behalf with your resume. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, because if you keep relying on this algorithm, I don't know that that's going to be as fruitful as, you do that. But then what you really want to do before you apply the next time, I would take the time to go through the platform, go through like LinkedIn or go through People Grove and check for alumni who work at D.E. Shaw. Okay. Have you done that yet?
I have not done that part yet.
All right, let me just do a quick search here. D.E. Shaw. All right, so I'm looking up D.E. Shaw. Can you see my screen? You see LinkedIn or no? Yes? Yes. All right, so I'm looking up D.E. Shaw, people, Johns Hopkins. Here are at least 3 that have some tie to Hopkins and D.E. Shaw. We've got associates there, analyst, corporate development associate. Are you a graduate student?
Yes.
Okay. The role that you're looking at, what line was it in a specific? Where is it? It just says associate. Okay. I didn't know if it was like a particular division or something. But yeah, I would try to look through from this perspective then. This is an associate. Legal and compliance. It's their Hopkins Association. I don't know why they're popping up for Hopkins. Let's see who else. Okay. So these 2, looks like they studied at. This person's an analyst. It looks like they were in biomedical and applied math. What's your major?
My major is business analytics and risk management.
Okay. But yeah, I would still try to use that as a piece. And then also, did you do undergrad at Hopkins or undergrad somewhere else?
Undergrad somewhere else. I'm doing my master's here.
Okay. So then, the reason I asked is because that means that that's a whole other school that you could also type in. You have alumni from your undergrad as well. So I would use both of those schools as maybe that will yield more, that may yield some other folks that Hopkins doesn't, do you know? So you have two schools that you can potentially pull from an alumni network that you can reach out to them and advocate, for yourself. But especially if you've adjusted a bunch of times and it's still not getting over the hurdle, then you gotta try that backdoor scenario I talked about, because applying online is not gonna, it may not be the answer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I'll stay on until y'all hang up or have other questions. Jay, did you have a question? Jay, if you have a question, you can just type it in the chat or unmute yourself. Jay, did you have a question? I'll be hanging up shortly unless you have a question.
you.